Now let's take a look at putting some of these concepts into practice. In this exercise, you will change the host name of the device to XRR1 from the CLI. You'll then revert to a previous configuration state within the Junos OS, and then finally you'll use the JWeb to configure the Junos OS. Let's get started. First thing that I want you to do is I want you to change the host name of your Juniper device to XRR1 from the CLI. Now pause the video and perform the exercise. To change the host name of the device, what I'm going to do is first log into the device as root with my password. Now you'll notice here that I'm actually within a Linux shell, so to get into the Junos OS, I have to type in the CLI command. Once I type CLI, I'm in operational mode, and I can tell I'm in operational mode with the greater than sign. So to make changes to the device, I have to go in configuration mode, and I can get there by typing the edit command. You can see I'm in configuration mode because I have the pound sign now as part of my prompt. So now I'm going to use the set command to make a change to the device, and the type of change that I'm going to set is the hostname setting. So set system hostname, and then I'm going to specify that the hostname is going to be XRR1. So I hit enter. Now after hitting enter, you'll notice that the hostname hasn't taken effect. I still have the old hostname, which is New York R1. And the reason being is the change is made to my temporary configuration. If I want to apply that change permanently, I got to use the commit command. Now just before I do that, let me use the show command to show you that the hostname command is in my temporary configuration. Now I just need to go and commit that. So I use the commit command to write the change. And now you can see my prompt has changed to XR-R1. The next step is to restore a previous configuration state in your Junos OS using the rollback command. Now pause the video and perform the exercise. To revert back to a previous configuration within Junos OS, we can use the rollback command. And if you use rollback space question mark, the help feature will give you a list of the different previous configurations that you can revert to. So notice that they are numbered on the left hand side from 0 all the way down to, it looks like I've got 50. Also notice that I do have a configuration called rescue. That's one that I've created myself, so I can actually revert to something called rescue. So let's use the rollback command and revert back to the first configuration. So rollback space 1. Actually, that's the second configuration because the first one is index number 0. Now, what that does is that loads that automatically saved configuration into your temporary configuration, so you can use the show command to display that temporary configuration. And notice that in this case, the old configuration that I restored has the host name set to New York-R1. So what I'm going to do here is I'm now going to commit that change. So once you roll back to load that configuration in temporarily, you finally commit it with the commit command. Now that I've committed the change, you can see that my old prompt has come back. As a final exercise in this course, I want you to log in to JWeb for the Junos OS and change the host name to JWeb-R1, and then add a static route to the 13 network with a next hop value of 12.0.0.2. Now pause the video and perform this exercise. To use JWeb, the first thing that I do is go up to the browser and I type in the IP address of the router. By default, the device is using the IP address of 192.168.1.1. So I type that in, 192.168.1.1, and when I hit enter, you'll notice that it takes me to the Juniper Web Device Manager web interface. So this is a web interface that we can use to configure the device instead of using the CLI. Now I'm going to type in my username and my password. and log into the device. So you can see here the benefits of using JWeb. It is a web-based interface, so instead of memorizing a bunch of commands to configure the device, we can configure the device through these tabs up top here. So the configure tab is your basic configuration of the device. The monitor tab allows you to monitor the device. The maintain tab allows you to do maintenance like add software to the device. And then troubleshoot gives you things like your ping command if you wanted to. So those are the different tabs. Now what I need to do here is we need to change the host name to jweb-r1. So if I go to the configure tab, way down the bottom here, we'll see the system properties and their system identification. And if I click on system identification, I can see here that the host name is set to boss-r2. So I'm going to edit that, and I'm going to change the host name to jweb-r1 and then hit OK. Now you'll notice that we do have a big alert up top there, kind of draw my attention to the fact that after we go and make that change, we do have to go and commit the change. So just like from the CLI, you make the change, then you commit it. Now once this commits, the next thing that we want to do is we want to go add a static route for the 13 network. So that's completed. So to add a static route, that's in our routing category here over on the left hand side. And you can see that we can enable RIP and OSPF. Here we're going to go to static routing and we're going to add a static route. And the static route is going to be for an IP version 4 address of 13.0.0.0, and we're going to add the next hop of 12.0.0.2. Hit OK and hit OK. And then again, it lets us know that we need to commit those changes. So in this video, we took a look at basic configuration of your Juniper device.